Welcome to A Slice of Therapy. This podcast was created with Anchor. And if you've not heard of Anchor, let me explain. It's free. It's a really easy way to make a podcast. And it helps me because I can just do this every day directly into my phone, because there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. So if you fancy making a podcast too, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. One of the things I notice about people I speak to, and indeed myself, is just how easy it is to discount our own achievements. How easy it is to bat away the good stuff and not give ourselves credit for it. And it's a shame, really, because in life, there's so much stuff that we're doing, that we're accomplishing, that we're getting through life in various ways. Even when life is a struggle, there's so much that we're doing day by day, moment by moment, where we're actually achieving something, we're accomplishing something, we're keeping on going. And unfortunately, we tend to miss the vast majority of it. We're always looking for the fireworks, I suppose. The big flashlight moment that is going to say, well, yeah, that was something special. And yet, hour by hour, we're actually doing stuff that would actually have a detrimental effect if we didn't do it. It's a bit like when you walk into a room and you flick the light switch. The only thing that you're not going to notice is the light coming on. I mean, you'll notice that there's light in the room, obviously, but it's not going to be a significant moment that the light has come on, because that's what the light's meant to do. You're going to notice it if the light doesn't come on. But if you're flicking that switch, the light's coming on, you don't pay it a second thought. You just go into this wonderfully lit room, and we'd miss the fact that we've actually got this amazing thing that's just happened. The room is now lit, even though outside is dark, and we can see clearly. And so just like that light switch, we miss an awful lot about ourselves as well, that we could actually celebrate, we could actually give ourselves some praise for. But we don't give ourselves praise for it because we tell ourselves, well, that's what's supposed to happen. If I flick the light switch, the light's meant to come on. And yet imagine what would happen if many of these things that we do, that we miss, if we didn't do them. Imagine the impact of them. And so, as an example, I got a shower this morning, brushed my teeth. These are acts of self-care that I did for myself, that unless I was doing this podcast now, I would completely miss. But what would happen, for instance, if I just stopped showering, if I stopped brushing my teeth? People would probably notice that. I'd probably notice that. I might even, if I lost the motivation to do those things, I might even criticize myself for them, give myself a hard time about it. And yet I don't give myself a good time for the fact that I've done them. And so in this episode today, what I want to divert your attention towards are those things that we're doing well, which are going under the radar, which we're dismissing just as the little things. But the thing is, if we can praise ourselves for all of those little things, we'd actually be getting a lot of praise, a lot of encouragement, not just once, not just when the fireworks go off, but over and over and over again. We'd actually be cultivating and nurturing not just an encouraging voice, something supportive and self-loving and self-praising, but what we'd be doing as well is we would be noticing all the things that we're doing that actually push us forward in life, we'd actually be putting a magnifying glass on all the ways that we're being wonderful. The things that we typically miss because we view them as too small or too ordinary or too much of a thing that, well, you're supposed to do that anyway, Alan, aren't you? So what I'm inviting you to do here is to try and develop a practice where you notice what's gone well in the last hour. And maybe you'd even want to set a little alarm, if it's feasible to do on your phone, where it'll just give you a little beep, a little reminder every hour, every waking hour anyway. You don't need to be waking you up in the middle of the night, but say every waking hour or every couple of hours, just as an experiment. And when the alarm goes off, just take that moment just to reflect on what's gone well in that hour. And that might be that you've had a shower. It might be that you've been for a walk. It might be that you've brushed your teeth. It might be that you've washed the dishes. It might be that you've cooked yourself some food. It might be that you did that bit of work that's been on your backlog for a while. It doesn't really matter what it is. It might be that you spoke to a friend. It might be that you cared for your child. But whatever it happens to be, notice it, no matter how small it is, and celebrate yourself for having done that. And I wonder what difference that will make to really push your own focus towards how brilliant you are. Even to the point of noticing all of those things that you wouldn't typically notice. How that changes you, how that changes your perspective, how that lifts your own self-esteem, what impact that has, and what difference it makes to be a person who consistently celebrates yourself and praises yourself and encourages yourself and keeps on seeking out and finding and highlighting and celebrating every little thing that you do that has gone well for you. So if you like this idea, please share it so that other people can do this experiment as well. If you'd like to work with me one-to-one, I'm Alun Parry. You can find out more about me at liverpoolpsychotherapy.co.uk. You can subscribe to this podcast for free, of course, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you prefer to watch them on video, then you can find them all at asliceoftherapy.com. So thanks for listening. I'll be back with another one tomorrow.